Our cul-de-sac was usually peaceful. Neighbors mostly kept to themselves. Then, Karen moved in. She arrived in a flurry of moving boxes and passive-aggressive welcome gifts. Karen quickly established herself as the self-appointed guardian of all things HOA-related. She patrolled the neighborhood, rulebook in hand, a permanent frown etched on her face. Little did I know our paths were about to cross in the most infuriating way possible. Our houses sat adjacent, driveways side by side. Mine was slightly wider, a fact that would soon become a point of contention. At first it was just an occasional overstepping of the boundary, maybe a tire slightly over the line. I dismissed it as a minor annoyance. But as days turned into weeks, the incursions became bolder, more frequent. Karen, it seemed, had developed a habit of using my driveway as her own personal parking lot. The first time I caught Karen parking squarely in my driveway, I was stunned. Her car, a hulking SUV, occupied a good portion of my space. I remember thinking, surely this is a mistake. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she had guests. Maybe her vision was failing. Whatever the reason, I decided to address it directly. Approaching Karen's house, I plastered a friendly smile on my face. This would be a simple, neighborly chat. I knocked. Karen answered, her face immediately contorting into an expression of suspicion. "Yes!" she barked, her voice dripping with annoyance. I politely explained the situation, pointing out the encroaching vehicle. Karen's response was swift and dismissive. "Oh, that's just temporary," she said, waving her hand dismissively. "My driveway is being resurfaced. No apology, no attempt to move the car, just an air of entitlement that made my blood boil." The temporary situation stretched on for days. Karen's driveway remained untouched. My driveway, however, became an extension of her property. I tried reasoning with her again. I left polite notes on her car. I even considered baking her cookies, a last-ditch effort to appeal to her humanity. Nothing worked. Karen was unmoved, her resolve to occupy my driveway as firm as ever. The situation was becoming a running joke among my friends. "Did you check if Karen's moved her car?" they'd ask, their voices laced with amusement and a hint of disbelief. I'd shake my head, a mixture of frustration and resignation washing over me. I couldn't believe this was my life. I was locked in a battle of wills with a woman who seemed to thrive on conflict. Section 4. The final straw. Time for action. The final straw came on a day when I had an important meeting. I rushed outside, eager to get a head start on the traffic, only to find Karen's SUV parked squarely in the middle of my driveway. This time, there was no mistaking it. This wasn't a matter of a few inches over the line. This was a blatant disregard for my property and my time. I felt a surge of anger course through me. This had gone on long enough. I was done being nice. I was done with diplomacy. It was time for action. I grabbed my phone and dialed a number I had been contemplating calling for weeks, the towing company. Section 5. Reclaiming my turf, a satisfying victory. The arrival of the tow truck was like a scene out of a movie. Karen, alerted by the sound of the truck's engine, came storming out of her house, her face a mask of fury. She sputtered and yelled, threatening me with lawsuits and HOA complaints. But I stood my ground, a sense of righteous indignation washing over me. This was my driveway, and I was taking it back. As the tow truck pulled away with Karen's precious SUV in tow, I felt a wave of satisfaction wash over me. It was a small victory, but it was mine. The experience taught me a valuable lesson about standing up for myself, even when faced with the absurdity of a homeowners association. Karen, it was a reminder that sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, or in this case, a parking violation with a tow truck.